part that's connected to the energy of the great creator of all. That's the part that you need to connect to. That's the part that I'm trying to connect to, the spiritual part. You know, I look at this place like a punishment. Hopefully I won't come back here again. So that's what I feel life is. When people say to you or your parents or your loved ones, they gone to a better place, I believe half the time most people don't really understand what they're saying. But the good part about what they're saying is they're probably right. And that's if your parents or your loved ones are lucky. They will. They'll go to a place that we call heaven, or a place that we call eternal, a place where we all were, spiritually speaking, before we decided to experience this physical. It's called this world. It's a part of a multiverse with all kinds of creatures and all. But remember, we're all fake. We're all nothing but trickeries of light. That's it. Polarization. I was in the bathroom probably about a half an hour ago, and I said 2020 was a year of polarity for me. I lost my mom in 2020, the end of 2020. Clarity, polarity, 2020 vision. This place is nothing but trickery of lights. Some are gifted, they can see the trickery and they can't explain it. So they go find answers for it. They can't find answers for it. So they pray and they pray and they pray and then they get the answers. Some of us can stare at things to see that it's really not there. Like they literally start blinking and shit. I ain't saying no names. I want you to think I'm crazy or nothing. But we have gifts. We can do things like defeat reality. We might not be able to harness it. We can't do it whatever the hell we want to. But if we're told to do it, we do it. We're successful at it. Imagine our spirituals, if they were physical, imagine them all being tied up in chairs and shit. Let's say not tied up in chairs, let's say, I don't know, locked into a room some kind of way, locked into a room. And it's kind of like a spell, kind of like a curse. They can't shake where they are. Where they are, they're not supposed to be there. Their dominion is all over, perhaps, but the dominion's being restricted. And through our avatars, they just wish they can communicate. Maybe they're in a spell where they can't. But every now and then, the energy of that spirit one, it's so strong. It works through the avatar. The avatar cheats, like Grand Theft Auto. They give the avatar cheat codes, infinite money, infinite weapons, infinite whatever it needs. It's like just putting out your cheat code in there. But that spirit's not supposed to have that ability. Its dominion is being localized. But sometimes that spirit leaks. And when it leaks, it can be such an amazing thing. The only thing you can do is document it all. As time starts to take its toll, starts to beat down on you, it's almost like you lose energy. So that's life to me. Our spirits right now are trapped. And every now and then, one of us avatars, we make them real happy. We speak the words that they can't speak. We take you back to the spirit. Spirit. We're so easily distracted. Even I. All I gotta do is see some big boobs and big thighs. the same way, all of us. But at least I know, and I know better. So I fight. Fight. But that's life. One thing we do know is that your ass will go. There you go. There's frequency of our reality. A time, space, specific place where everything has to die for something to stay alive. How many chickens? How many pigeons? How many chickens? How many turkeys? How many fish? How many cows? How many pigs have you eaten to stay alive? How many plants have you killed to stay alive? How many humans have to die for more plants to be alive? Everything here is recycled. Nothing goes to waste. This place is fake. It's synthetic. It's created. The only thing that matters is spirit and your intent while you're here. Everything is full of deceit, so can't be held but so much, so responsible. I mean, you have free will, but even your free will is being tainted. So, technically speaking, the only thing that matters is intent. If you go to church, they're doing the wrong thing, you have no clue, you're just trying to do the right thing, it's all good. You just didn't know no better. You'd be amazed at what's really going on. Even in churches. Wow. Even with preachers that know the truth. But they get paid very well. Too many people can make money in America free without paying taxes on it. Ain't too many people. Not for nothing, you see a church on every corner. Everybody's trying to be a preacher as soon as they get out of jail. They figure one thing out. They don't figure nothing out. Wow. Man, you go give your money to a nonprofit? I think in the state of Maryland, they're only allowed, or by law, only have to give 11% of that back to the actual cause. The other 89% can literally go in their pocket if they want. Want to know the most profitable business in the world? Not just the United States, in all parts of the world. Nonprofit. All just about everybody in the UN. I don't think any of them taxes on nonprofit. I can't think of a country that tax on nonprofit. Or hold the same tax liabilities on nonprofit as they hold on self-employed. And if they have the opportunity in their country, most of these countries are so Republican that, you're lucky if you have a business that's government-oriented or controlled by the government in some way, shape, or form, which is where they're trying to push the United States, of course, like China's some damn where. Like literally. They already rewritten the tax laws and passed the bills and all. Right, if you make more than $600, if you do a more than $600 transaction right now, it's watched. Already. It's already watched. The law already passed. Everything's watched. It's the reason why we get all these new security things all on our, accounts and all. Everything's being watched. And it used to be, I think it was $9,999 transaction, you Gucci. Nope, $599 now. If you do a $600 transaction, it's scrutinized by our federal government. So, it's gotten that bad. Like I said, in the future, your bank is your body. You don't do something right, you don't do what the hell they want you to do, they just send you less of an allowance. You don't have to work. Why work? Robots doing every damn thing. Who works? 40-50% of people who worked a year, let's say 2010, don't work no more in 2030. That's just the truth. Jobs are cut out. Most people want like some type of welfare or social system where it's a little different from people who are on welfare. It's more for less for the people who were working, but the job's just not there, and the system is holding them down till they find a job, and because they're recognizing that the economy is not what it used to be. A lot of that is because of robots. You can experience what happened during the pandemic. when we came back from the pandemic. We noticed Walmarts and some of the major chains were having you check your own bag out. Check your own items out and pay for bags. Just the bag cost alone can cover any other cost that normally would be billed to that employer. You probably got one employee now, and you're doing the job of the employees now. You're packing your own bag, you're paying for your bag, you're ringing your own item up. After that, everything else is done by computers. And you walk out the store, they have to pay a human for that. And that's what is going on. I'm actually in a company called UiPath, and with UiPath, what they do is they go in and they rewrite the business practices of a company. If a company's paying, let's say, $100,000 in human resources per year, their objective is to go in and show that company how they can use robots to do the same thing and cut their human resources down to almost nothing. Some of these robots can perform the same job at 1 cent per hour versus a human being paid literally $20, $30 an hour, even though the human's only carrying away $15 per hour at home. When you account for other human resources costs, it's like, benefits and stuff, and retirement packages and 401k, stuff like that. So they leave the business with no other opportunity but to choose robots. You don't have a choice. Somebody walk into your business and say, hey man, you paying this person $25 an hour. You've been doing that for the last 10 years, man. I can show you how to pay this damn robot 10 cents per hour. Literally 10 cents per day. And they don't need a break. They working 24/7, those robots, bro. You just call us when you need us to maintenance. It comes included in your package. Well, maintenance and keep them up for the next 15 years. You sitting there, huh? Oh, honey, did he just say what we thought you said? Yeah, that'll see your gross revenue up another 100% this year, bro. What's killing you is your human resource. We found a way to defeat that. Who the hell's not going to hire robots now? Especially if it's being backed by the company who created the robots for the next 15 years as a form of insurance. Who's not? You might leave one employee there, take the rest of the employees out, and put them robots in as quick as possible. Especially after experiencing something like what the economy just brought you during the pandemic. You ain't got much of a choice. Something like that happens again, it doesn't hurt you as much because you're not, sending employees home. So then what happens is they have to create a system for those type of people. People who want to work, people who got college degrees and everything, but they're just not applicable. So then that's when you get a little system that's a little bit better than the system that exists for people who are like that. And they'll probably even have a name for it. And people have their own card. It'll probably start off as a card. And before you know it, they're going to hit them motherfuckers first. Like, look, bitch, fuck the card. We don't deal with cards. You got to put this shit in your body. And if you don't get any money. And you sit there like, oh, shit, I better go get a job. It's my last chance. You can't get a job. You stuck with, oh, okay, I'll take that thing on there. I got to eat, got to feed the kids. And next thing you know, bam, you're not even 100% human no more. You're not even 100% human when you took the vax, believe it or not. I know it sounds crazy, but there's nanotechnology inside you if you took that vax, period. I don't like talking about it, unfortunately, because they ban the hell out of you for talking about stuff like that. But that's just an example of transhumanism. And that ain't nothing compared to what will be maybe year 2050 and stuff like that. Like, even where we are now, when you talk about special military and institutions and organizations, you have individuals that literally have cyborg arms and cyborg legs, and I know it sounds crazy, but that same stuff you see on the games, the war games, you soldiers running all up the side of the walls and fucking black holes coming out of nowhere and somebody getting sucked through that shit. I know it sounds weird, but that's real weaponry. And that's in year 2015 and stuff like that. You playing a game and the game just created a black hole and another soldier just got sucked into that black hole. Another weapon on there, you shoot a person and that person just disintegrated. They're not even physical anymore. They turn to dust right in front of your face. Disintegrated right in front of your face. If you think that's not real artillery, then that's like you thinking Jetsons wasn't real. But now we're doing everything that we were looking at on Jetsons. It just means that the military gets it 30, 40 years before we get it. Poor consumers. The rich, the wealthy, the big institutions, the big organizations, they get it next in line. Like literally, your institutions, your Lockheed Martin, your Boeing, they get that information next to find some type of commercial use for it without teaching each individual consumer about that technology. If I invented a technology right now, if I defeated physics right now, they come snatch my ass and they'll try to cross engineer me, try to back engineer me, try to figure out what it is that I'm doing, to create electromagnetics, to defeat electromagnetics. What it is that I'm doing to defeat fire. What it is that I'm doing to maneuver air, wind, stuff like that. These physical properties that is programmed into our reality. What am I doing to defeat these things? I can be used for weaponry. And then once they figure me out, they'll probably hold me for 40, 50 years. And then maybe they'll hand me my rights off to Boeing or Lockheed to use for commercial purposes. Maybe to make a robot or something that looks like human with, certain capabilities or whatever. That's just how it works. That's how it works with technologies. If you invented something, if it's something that could be of national security, then national security is going to come in and they're going to seize your shit. They're going to lock you down. They might take good care of you, but they're going to lock you down. Make sure that you can't hurt nobody. Same thing if you're retarded. They want to make sure you can't hurt nobody. So if you have certain abilities, then you're a mutant. And all it is that mutant only simply means that there was once that gene prevalent on this planet, probably readily prevalent, probably alive, and it's become dormant, but now that gene has popped up in offspring somewhere. There's people who pop up with tails, people who pop up with 6 fingers, people who pop up with abilities. Savants, psychics, oracles, shamans, you name it. These people got abilities and they can't be denied. That motherfucker just floating in your face. He just defeated gravity. It is what it is. If you witnessed it, thank God you actually witnessed that it can be done. Because you're not supposed to see it. And he's not supposed to be readily available to you for you to see it. So if you ever see somebody defeat physics, it is what it is. It's a reason why that person is attracting metal, or you can put a metal can to that motherfucker and it won't fall. Metal pot, heavy ass pan, it won't fall. He can bend a spoon, and he is really bending that spoon. He's moving that object. He's really doing it. It's a reason, and all they are is, I believe, a lot of times just mutant genes, mutant abilities, not even necessarily genes. Maybe genes that help us tap into our spiritual side of us, or to the non-physical side of us, to maybe use as cheat codes. Like I said, we are interdimensional beings, meaning specifically, most people don't really catch what I mean, but interdimension meaning between. Meaning we're not just physical, we're not just spirit, we're between. At any given moment, something spiritually can take over your host right now, and you out here shooting and killing motherfuckers, and everybody's like, he's never done nothing like that before. And you get right on TV and say, man, look, man, all I know is white spit was coming out of my mouth, eyes, ears, nose, and I went cuckoo, I blacked out, and they told me I killed 10 people, and I'm sitting there trying to figure out what the fuck happened. You got people that sleepwalking, that commit murders while they so-called supposed to be asleep. They think they sleep. They just committed a murder, and they on camera, CCTV. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. They ain't got no choice but to acquit all charges. That person's sleepwalking, committing a murder, and you can easily see it on CCTV. So, and these are phenomena that have to be explained. It falls under paranormal and para. So, there's a lot of things that exist in our reality, and the only way to understand it is literally like the Grand Theft Auto game. How you're able to go in and put cheat codes, and next thing you know, some fucking hovercraft just popped up in front of you. Now you got a fucking pilot suit on or some shit. Or now you got a gun in your hand. Lots of guns with lots of ammo. Literally, at any given time, you being an interdimensional being, at any given time, something can happen, like what we call a possession. Possession is simply meaning that a possession. You are in possession of something else. These words are spells. These words are not just words. That's why you can't say just words and bring those words into this reality, because you're manifesting those negative words into this reality. So that thing just, anyway, gotta get back to this a bit. So you gotta be careful when you're manifesting things or when you're saying things. I completely forgot where I was. But possession, it means exactly that. When you see Exorcist, me and my brother, we was talking about the original, he was telling me about the original cut on Exorcist, how the people walking upside down like spiders and all, and how, some of the scenes were a little bit different. And I took it a step further, and I'm like, I'm willing to speculate that I'd be willing to bet my life that the same thing that happened to the great Virgin Mary is the same thing that happened to lots of people across the planet. It was an infiltration. And it happened mainly to the people that were in power, like your kings and queens. And the reason why your kings and queens right now still to this day will have sex with their brothers and sisters as incest just to hold their genetic bloodline down, because it's sacred to the ones that infiltrate us, the ones that they talk about in Genesis, the ones who physical ones to be up there beautiful and liking it and took them as their own. And next thing you know, we got Elohim, I'm sorry, not Elohim, but we got hybrids, or if you will, or pharaohs, if you will. And these pharaohs and hybrids, they got immaculate powers. They're giants. They can do miraculous things, like Jesus of Bethlehem. They can do miraculous things, and they come from a person who never had no sex. Well, that goes back to the movie Exorcism, and I believe that, instead of these possessions just taking over that host and making that host float and do all other kinds of anti-physical things, I think that that being was sexing that individual. If there was a frequency station between physical and spiritual, and there was a way for them to tune themselves where they're sometimes physical, sometimes spiritual, and may even cross between, to our interpretation, may even cross between the two, may even take shapes and forms of different things, dogs, mice, cats, whatever. And that's our interpretation of that, when it's crossing between that frequency, between our two stations, just enough to get a physicalness to get her pregnant, for example. Because remember, all these women share one thing in common before giving birth to these miraculous individuals, physical individuals, and that is that they were getting an exorcist performed on them. I mean, they were going through an exorcist. They was going through a possession. Something was taking possession of them. And next thing you know, they pop up pregnant. The same thing that happened with the great Virgin Mary. Which begs the question of, well, what is Jesus if the only thing that was going around this damn planet mating with physical beings that is part physical and spiritual and able to manifest themselves in all kinds of physical natures, and at the same time create offspring into a physical item, then what does that make Jesus if all these things were so-called bad? If there was no good things doing this crazy crap, if there was no so-called good things doing this, then what does that make Jesus if Jesus' mother was the Virgin Mary who experienced the same thing? And then that'll take you into learning about the story of Jesu. You'll be amazed at how Jesu and Jesus share the same exact story. Died at 33. It's crazy. So the person that they worship as their physical devil or opposite Messiah or messenger or whatever is the same people, the same story that they give us for our great good Messiah, which is Jesus. Now, I still send my prayers to Jesus, but it is what it is. I don't say amen for more than 20 years. I know that goes back to Ra, pyramids, and all that. So I'm smart enough to know that. I'm definitely not a physical worshiper. I talk from spirit. And I think that is the key. I hear a lot of intelligent people out there speaking when it comes to religion and all, and they really intelligent. They got a lot of information, but information is just that. It's not all it's cracked up to be. I gotta wipe my nose. But I'm into what I'm doing. I apologize. 1 second. But it's not all it's cracked up to be. Physical is the distraction. Time, space, it is the distraction. It's the distraction from who you are, eternal spirit, and all the things that you were endeavored to do after spirit, ascending after spirit. If there was a fifth dimension that's describable in our dimension of reality, then whatever that is, that's what you were seeking before you got distracted and demoted as a physical avatar of a spirit being. All right, we are interdimensional, meaning we are back and forth, and that is what they're not going to teach us. That have to be gifted. That have to be given to you not from books. Nobody's going to teach you that you are interdimension, meaning you are back between before. You're back and forth. And at any given time, you can be in possession of something that's 100% spirit, whether it be good or bad. There's people that go out here and do good things. There's people that you can catch this shit on closed circuit TV with different light spectrums or different technology to catch different light spectrums, and they would catch something with inside that physical person that almost took physical form, and it may appear as a beast. The leg may be opposite or whatever, some shit. But you've seen a physical apparition inside of that physical person, and that physical person in that split second did something very miraculous. Maybe fought off 10 guys at one time real fast and defeated them when he was just getting his ass whipped. Maybe just got out the way of that car that was going 100 miles per hour when there's no way possible he could have did it. And the TV, the camera that sees in those different light spectrums is seeing that thing come out that person, or seeing something come right from the other side, and like a guardian angel to that person in that split second, defeating time, and that person's still here with us physically. So I know it sounds crazy, but the information's out there, and the only thing that used to separate us from seeing this type of shit versus what doesn't separate us from seeing it now is just the technology that sees in other light spectrums. Because this place is nothing but a trickery of light. This place is nothing but magic. You don't believe me? Ask Disney. Disney knows. That's why they run everything. If you look at any trillionaire, any billionaire, they know way more than I know. I'm gifted and they still got me beat. They practice the art of mysticism, Kabbalicism, as yourself so it is below. That's what they practice, mysticism, Kabbalism. You know, you can either be a Torah believer or you can be a Kabbalah believer. That's what they believe, you know, and I've known Jews in the past. You know, Jews are some of the most intelligent people on the planet, very humble, very respected people. I see why they are who they are. I see why they are who they are. Not just physically smart, but they're connected. And they know a lot of the truth. You ask them, is God alien? They'll tell you, yeah. You ask a Jew, which way, they asked, which way do you want to go? One roll for Jehovah, one roll for the devil. They like literally asking that kid, right? You feel me? Which way, do you want to go mysticism, Kabbalah, or Torah? You feel me? Like, good, bad. You feel me? Like physical worship and magic and all that makes this place what it is, or blah, blah, blah. So, and that's like the precursor to our religion, Christianity.